Look at this right here. Rebirth Island is officially back. Yes, you heard that correctly. You can now drop back into Rebirth. As of today, they've added Rebirth back into the playlist rotation. So we're going to be talking about exactly how long you have to play it, what your options are for playing it, what the Rebirth meta is, and of course, being the #1 coach for Resurgence, I'm going to be giving you some tips for success. Look, as I've mentioned, Fortune's Keep and Rebirth are very different game modes. So I'm going to be reminding you of a few things for when you drop in. Now, the first thing is, how long do we have to play Rebirth? Well, the good news is that as of right now, Rebirth is here to stay. They are still encouraging us to play Fortune's Keep by not giving us a ton of options for Rebirth, but you can play Rebirth. So let me explain. We have the option for the next 3 weeks. 3 weeks this is the way it's going to be. You have the option to play solos, duos, trios, and quads on Fortune's Keep, or you have the option to play quads in Rebirth. So they do not have the option to play solos, duos, or trios on Rebirth. I get it. You know, we're a little bit frustrated, or there's going to be people that are frustrated about that, but understand that they're giving us the option to play both, whereas before, the only option was to play Fortune's Keep. And like I said, that's the next 3 weeks. Then after that, it still kind of remains to be seen what they are going to do. As of right now, the note says that they are going to be rotating playlists daily at 10 a.m. Pacific time, 1 p.m. Eastern time. Now, what does that look like? I have no idea. It could be that fact that they're going to be doing solos, duos, trios, quads, Rebirth one day. By the way, still rockets on the ground. Here's good old Rebirth back for you with being rocketed off the rip. So what I think that may look like, and what I'm guessing, is that one day is going to be Rebirth, solos, duos, trios, quads. One day is going to be Fortune's Keep, solos, duos, trios, quads, and they're going to switch every day. What I would like to see is kind of a rotation where one day is solos and quads on one map, one day is duo, trios, and then they flip. This way we can constantly be choosing what we want to play, and you know, people that only want to play Rebirth aren't being stuck not playing for a day because of Fortune's Keep. Now let's talk about the Rebirth meta as we are going here. This game mode, I dropped 26 kills using the NZ and the Blixen. It's a pretty solid game all the way around. Blixen and NZ did get nerfed, although they are definitely still in the meta. The NZ just isn't as good as it was before. We of course know how insane it was for the past week or so. It's not as good, but you're going to see how good it really is. The Blixen, the damage profile of it, or the range, was nerfed just a little bit. Not a huge deal. It's still a very good option. I do think that the AR primary meta has opened up a little bit. Of course, we still have the snipers, Modern Warfare Car 98, the Swiss, the Vanguard car, but we're also looking at some other ARs. The NZ is obviously one of them. I think the Bar is going to be in it. I think the Cooper's going to be in it. There's going to be a few more that sprinkle in there. The UGM's still going to be really good, but I think overall you don't have to use the NZ anymore. Now, in terms of SMGs, I don't think much has changed besides the Blixen being pulled back just a little bit. We've got the Blixen, we've got the Marco 5, and we have the Armaguerra. Marco 5, I'm going to be doing a Rebirth video on my second channel, which I will leave down in the comments below here probably tomorrow. And also, if you are looking to get better at Resurgence game mode, Fortune's Keep, and Rebirth Island, make sure you subscribe down below. I do videos every single day just trying to help people get better. Now, the other thing that we need to talk about is things to keep in mind. You know, one thing that I've really reiterated with Fortune's Keep is the fact that it's a totally different game mode. The pace is much slower. Positioning really matters on Fortune's Keep. But what we're going to see here is, and just a reminder, positioning doesn't matter as much on Rebirth Island. It's a lot about pace of play. It's a lot about moving quickly, constantly repositioning, constantly keep your enemies guessing. Yes, we talk about being patient on the approach, but right here, I'm just moving, right? We're just moving a little bit. There's a lot of longer angles. There's not as much, as I've been saying, there's not as much finesse ability on this map because of how open it can be. Because of the long alleyways, it's very predictable with where people are going, whereas Fortune's Keep, it's very easy to lose people. That's both a positive and a negative. You got to use that to your advantage, the fact that you can easily predict where somebody's going. Here's the NZ, by the way. A little bit more recoil, but overall still an absolute beam. You're going to see it again right here, although I'm not going to be able to get this guy down. And I'm going to end up dying too. I'm going to be totally honest with you. I'm going to keep the death in. I'm going to show you. I get caught a little bit on a heady. This guy has a really, really good angle on me. I'm going to try to stim up. I missed a few shots with the Blixen. He's able to win this gunfight with the well gun, by the way, which could also make its way into the meta. We'll see how that actually plays out. I'm going to be doing more loadout videos and stuff for Rebirth here in the next few days. But going back to what I was saying, you know, there's a lot less finesse ability in Fortune's Keep. When you're in town, you shoot somebody, you don't get the down, you have no idea where they went. It's much easier to be predictable, or to predict where people are going to go on Rebirth. You just have to keep that in mind, right? That's both a positive and a negative, that you have to be unpredictable yourself and anticipate. Now, in terms of one of the other major things that I talk about, on Fortune's Keep, we kind of have three main areas that people converge on, right? So you have people that land winery, you have people that land town, you have people that land keep, and then everything kind of funnels towards, you know, the grotto area, the town area, and you get a lot of teams fighting in one area. What you see here on Rebirth, especially this game, is you're not really dealing with multiple teams at once. You know, maybe at the most you're dealing with 2 other teams, right? So it's you and 2 other teams fighting. Besides prison, prison's your hot area. You can generally get more people in prison, but because of the size of it, it doesn't really become a huge issue. By the way, you can see the movement speed of this Blixen, how good it is on Rebirth still, especially with that taped grip. Keep in mind, haven't had taped grip on Rebirth Island yet because that patch happened, or that buff happened of taped grip right after Fortune's Keep came out, or with that Fortune's Keep update. So this is the first time we're really seeing taped grip on Rebirth Island. Going back to what I was saying though, you know, in terms of our, what was I saying? Oh, third partying, of course. You're not going to have it as much because our areas are a lot separated. You've got prison, you've got headquarters, you've got Nova 6, you've got control, you've got living quarters, you've got decon, you've got stronghold. All of these areas are very separated. You don't really have a third party situation very often besides kind of in this prison headquarters area, whereas they're very common on Fortune's Keep. Now, in terms of lobby health, you know, lobby health is very different here. A lot of times in endgame, or even as we're closing in on third circle, we would see 7, 8, 9 teams still left on Fortune's Keep, whereas here you see only 5 teams left. It's something that we're going to have to keep in mind. Of course, keeping in mind that anatomy of a 20 bomb, which again changes from Fortune's Keep. I don't really know if there is a true anatomy of a 20 bomb. I'm still kind of working on trying to figure it out for Fortune's Keep, but for Rebirth, it's very clear. 6 kills in the first, 12 kills by the end of the second, 4 kills by the end of the, or 4 more kills in third circle, putting you at 16 total, and then 4 kills in endgame to wrap up the 20 bomb. There's a lot less structure in Fortune's Keep because of the pace. You could have a hot early game, slow end game, you could have a slow early game, hot end game. It really changes so much, but here it's very structured. So I'm really on good 20 bomb pace here. I'm 2 kills short of where I need to be. We're going to go ahead and push up this way. Now, the other thing that we need to talk about is end game circles. I've said this on Fortune's Keep in those tip videos, but end game circles are significantly bigger. At least they, yeah, and the map in general is bigger. They, you know, the end game circles are bigger, and so is the map. This game ends up dying out pretty quickly. We're going to take care of a lot of teams pretty in a short period of time. But in terms of lobby health and circle size, it makes it a lot more interesting to fight those end games because people buy back. They tend to last much longer. You know, teams are much more spread out, whereas here you do have to worry about fighting multiple teams at one time. It's not necessarily going to happen in this game. We're going to be able to keep teams separated. We're going to clean up pretty quickly, especially once that respawn disables. But overall, you don't have to worry, or you do have to worry about being third-partied and fighting multiple teams at one time on this map, especially during endgame. So those are kind of the main things that I want you to keep in mind is pace of play. You're going to have to keep moving. It's less about positioning, more about repositioning, except when we are patient on that approach, pushing into a 1v3 or 1v4 situation. Right here, we're going to get the down. We're not going to quite get the thirst. We're immediately going to reposition here. We're going to challenge from down below. We're going to be able to get that kill to the left right there. We get the down. We get the thirst. Obviously, still have the resurgence dynamic. This is resurgence. Let's talk about that. Can we clarify that real quick? Rebirth Island and Fortune's Keep are the maps, okay? So when we say I'm playing Rebirth, that's basically saying I'm playing the map Rebirth Island, or I'm playing Fortune's Keep. When we say I'm playing Resurgence, Resurgence is the game mode. Resurgence is the dynamic of having you spawn back in. By the way, watch this play right here. Actually, I'm going to have it in a second. I actually go challenge this guy pretty patiently. This is where cover does matter a little bit. You know, there's a lot of cover in Fortune's Keep. Yes, there's open areas. We've talked about this before where there's open areas. There's also a lot of cover that you can finesse behind. Obviously, Rebirth Island, you got to be a lot more careful, especially in this courtyard. You can easily get shot through tents. You can easily get caught out in the open. So you have to be really careful about where you're actually approaching from and how you're going about your repositioning. Now, as we're pushing up here, we're going to go ahead and anticipate around the corner. And then we hit him with a nice little reach out. We get the one right there. You see the strafe speed, how far I move. Boom, don't see him there. Get shot there. We challenge this way. Right here's the Blixen, able to finally get that down. We get that thirst. We've got 22 kills. You see how many kills I'm picking up during this endgame. We've got one other team still alive, and it is a 4v3. 4v3. Well, 3v4 because we only have 3. But either way, we're going to go ahead and challenge this way, of course, paying attention to our power position and our cover, trying to figure out where they are. Buy station's going to go down, so I'm going to try to get over there as fast as possible. Do I use the stim for the health boost? Obviously not. I'm using it for the speed boost to try to get these guys while they're grabbing loadout, see if I can pick up a free kill. Unfortunately, I can't. So now we're going to go ahead and play patient on the approach. We're going to play this heady here, make it really difficult for this enemy to shoot me if he wants to push. He's going to end up peeking the stairwell. We're going to be able to get that first down. down. Now, we're going to try to get the quick thirst. We're not going to oversell, though, because I need to be cognizant of where the other people are. Notice that one is above, one is down below. So immediately challenge the one up above. We're going to challenge around this corner right here. We get the down right there. We get the thirst. We get 2 people below, right down below me. Watch how I challenge this to clutch up the win. But I hope you found today's video helpful. Rebirth is officially back. Enjoy it. I'm going to be playing a mix of both. I'm going to be doing videos on a mix of both. So keep an eye out. Turn on that notification bell. We're going to go ahead and chase this guy right here. Hit the quick stim for the speed boost. We get him around the corner. There's the 26 kill win. As I always say, let's get better today, and I will see you tomorrow.